أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, this is Mother Taufika hosting the radio station today with questions from Universal WOMBS, a sisterhood focused on the role of woman, bringing questions on marriage, Islam, and polygamy. We're broadcasting live from Michigan, and we have listeners from all over the world. I would like to thank you all for being here today. Our discussion today will be on polygamy. The question for today is, how does a husband prepare to enter into polygamy? And how does a new wife prepare to enter into a polygamous marriage? And also, how does a wife prepare to be a co-wife? The reason for this question is that we want to be prepared for our success, and any knowledge is helpful. Answering these questions today will be Imam Noah from Michigan. Please join in with your questions or comments. Please don't be afraid to ask your questions. We have 1 hour of free questions and discussion, so please feel free to ask your questions or to give any input. Thank you. Imam Noah, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, inshallah, alhamdulillah.
Okay, you can join the key and answer the questions. Did you get the question?
Yes, I got the question. And the question was, how men get prepared to accept polygamy? How women get prepared to accept polygamy in Islam? Is that a question?
Right. Okay, yes.
Alhamdulillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه وذريته أجمعين. Alhamdulillah, this question is very short and very, important also. All you have to do to be prepared in polygamy is just to be Muslim. So when you're Muslim, nothing surprises you in Islam. That's why I always say it's not what happened to a Muslim, it's how Muslim responded. In no way Allah might test you with polygamy for your women. And how you're going to respond it, count it. But you don't get prepared to, Prophet ﷺ already prepared all the Muslims, which is the Quran and his way of life. So all you have to do, read, your part in polygamy and study and accept it. So we have a verse in the Quran in Surah 17, verse 62. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that, Muhammad, there can never be, but he swear by the Lord of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that nobody can be a believer until they accept Muhammad as a judge sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is mean whatever he decided, we have to go for it. So he decided for the Muslim to have access to 4 wives. So if any Muslim is qualified to do it and they want to do it, alhamdulillah, that's the test of their wife right there. How the wife going to accept it, respond it, that's the one count. So be a Muslim to be prepared, to go to, polygamy. So no Muslim knows what's going to be their test. So that's the point. But we all being prepared with the Quran to sit down to wait. But we make a dua to Allah to not give us a test that we cannot pass. That's all we make as a dua. But tests will come eventually. Because in Quran Surah 29, verse 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that you think if you say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, if you take a shahada or you being a Muslim, a believer, that he's not going to test you, or yes, he's going to test you. So that shows definitely we're going to all go to a test. But we don't know, we don't pick and choose our own test. So preparing somebody to be a polygamist is the person got to be prepared to be a Muslim, that's all. That's my answer, inshallah.
So the only preparation is to make sure that you're Muslim, following your Quran and Sunnah?
Yes, that's the only preparation. And to become a Muslim, be Muslim, not have a name of Islam, just not, just be one. Don't earn the name. Yeah.
To be a sincere Muslim?
Mm-hmm. You just got to be a Muslim, not have a name of Muslim, Once you're a Muslim, already you're Muslim. But if you have a name of Islam, you just getting the name of Islam. And everybody knows, themselves anyway.
So also, would you say also that to follow the sunnah of the Prophet, how he dealt with his wives, would that also be a great help?
Yeah, that comes, when situation is in the situation. Something you cannot learn without being in.
Right.
If you want to prepare everything before getting, that's not the reality. The reality is be in and then find a way out of. You might have the draft,
Mm-hmm.
and saying that, when you go right there, that's the blueprint, but be in the field to make your blueprint, positive, to show that you really can read blueprint,
So now from Quran 29 and 2, that's basically talking about your test?
29 and 2?
Yeah, is that what you said, 29 and 2?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. I know you had gave a Quran ayat, and I was just wondering if that was the right one.
And 62.
Oh, 17 and 62?
Yes.
But did I hear you say that we were going to be tested and you asked Allah not to put us through a test that we cannot, pass?
Say it again?
That if we're tested, you asked Allah not to put us through a test that we cannot pass.
Yes, that's a dua. That Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu was making that dua often and asking Allah, do not give me a test that I cannot pass. Because, we could say, Allah, don't give me no test, but you're going to have a test. So just ask Allah to give you a test that you can pass.
Right, alhamdulillah. So basically, there's no way to prepare ourselves to be Muslim and to follow the Quran and Sunnah, and whatever you are faced with, then those are the things that you have to basically try to pass from your test.
You said what?
I said, so whatever situation that you are confronted with in polygamy, that is the test you will have to try and pass with the knowledge that you've gained from Quran and Sunnah.
Yeah.
So being in polygamy is a test. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Being polygamy is a test. Because it's a test for the women anyway. Because Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said your jihad is when your husband takes another wife. So because it's hard, it's really, really hard. We cannot even explain it. Prophet is the one explaining it, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He compared to men jihad. So man loses his life in jihad or he kills somebody. If it's not for the sake of Allah, he's going to be called accountable before Allah. So that's what it is. But the surah that I was telling you were looking for, that surah it's in Surah 4. It's not Surah 17. It's in Surah 4. Yeah, verses 63 or 65. Some Quran is 64, some is 63, but it's a 64. If you want it's 65, you can say 65, but it's Surah to Nisa, Surah 4.
Okay. So basically, it is a test for women, regardless to whether you're coming into the marriage, as a polygamist, a new polygamous wife, or if you were in the marriage. So you coming in, being there, receiving a new wife, that's your test. Hello?
You say yes, hello. You say coming in marriage, what?
I said, as a new woman coming into a polygamous marriage, that's going to be her test. And as a woman who is receiving a new wife that is coming into the marriage, that will be her test. So the test is something that you, as an individual, will have to overcome yourselves with the help of Allah.
Yeah. Polygamy stuff is nobody requests that when you come into Islam. It's just a package. It's a lot of things in it. Like, say, for instance, for the men, every man is required to teach the wife in the house and to lead them in prayer. How many Muslim men do that? Allah said in the Quran, in Surah 66, that all men and all believers, save yourself and their family. If you look at average people today, how many men ask his wife the Fatiha, the Salat, if he doesn't know it perfect? They don't even talk about Islam most of the time. The women go in her way to learn from somebody else, not share with the husband. The husband also go. They just come, they don't even ask each other if you pray or not. but they call themselves Muslim, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's Islam you have to study and then be serious about it. It's your life, you know. But you don't come inside to say, you know, I'm coming for the sake of polygamy. I'm coming for the sake of making money. No, that's not Islam. Islam is to save yourself. So saving yourself, you don't know what test Allah going to give you.
Right.
So if it happens in a man's time, you got to go. If you don't go, Allah going to ask him. If it happened to the woman that the husband take another wife, she got to submit. Otherwise, Allah going to ask her too if she interfere in it. So that's the things. And men, you know, got to be men. So that's Alhamdulillah.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes. But I was just making sure that he was finished before we went to the questions. So are you finishing now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So now we can go to the questions. If you have any questions, you can go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Sister Nasiha. Well, I don't think anybody can really be prepared to be in a polygamy situation, male or female. I just don't think that you can't prepare yourself. Now, I can only go by my experience as me first. Being in polygamy, I've been in it twice. I've been in me being the only wife, then having another wife, and then I've been going into a marriage. So, and when I first encountered with polygamy, it tore me down. And the only way I could save myself was to submit to Allah. Not to my husband, not to the fact that it's polygamy, but solely only to Allah. Wallahi. And I can't express that. I stayed praying for 30 days, 30 nights straight, just to ask him to give me patience and to accept the fact that this is what my life was going to be. It was difficult. I lost weight. I didn't eat. I felt like I let him down. I went through a lot. But because I was holding on so much to Allah, he was guiding me in that. He even gave me books to read because I wasn't a reader at the time, but I needed to figure out how am I going to mend my broken heart. And it wasn't the comfort of my husband, and it wasn't the comfort of my co-wife. It was the comfort of Allah. So I do believe that you have to submit to Allah. You have to fear Allah. And even still, even as a new shahada, I knew that my husband can have more than one wife. And me, as young at the time, never been in it, I sit there and told the imam and his mom, they was like, is there something that you want from him? I was like, yeah, he can't have another wife. But that was something that I could not just go ahead and just make that. But after years, went on, I started to understand what the test meant, that when you become a Muslim and you take your shahada and you state that's what you believe in, then yeah, Allah is going to test you to no avail. But unfortunately, polygamy, my first marriage and polygamy didn't last, not because of me, because I submitted it. But anyway, in my second marriage, I went similar to the same thing, but the sister, she just never been through it, so she was acting a whole lot of extra going on, so that didn't pan out. But now, this is years later down the line, that because of my experience in it, I think maybe, I don't know, if I was to run across it again, I'd probably be a little bit more understanding and really put everything into Allah, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that this could be one of my tests, this is what I should be tested in. If I'm in it, I'm tested. This is my test. So to please Allah, I guess I would have to submit not only to Allah but to His rules, which would be to my husband, and he fully 100% accept the fact that he has another wife, and you have to, make do with that, especially if your husband is a polygamy.
Right.
So that's all I have to say about that.
Alhamdulillah, that was beautiful, sis.
Yeah. And I think the problem here about polygamy is because of the women here and the men. They don't have too much to do, and the women spend more time with their husband, closer, and earn the friendship, closer friendship with their husband. So that does not allow them to share their husband. That they feel like that's a very close friend, so nobody should come between us. So, but in Islamic, country, the women, they have their way to deal with each other, and men go deal with the men also, and they meet at the house, and then the men will report to the wife what things went. Alhamdulillah, I went outside. This is what I got. This is what I do. So only way women let the men go out here to be happy when they got a job. But when they have a private and a personal job, like the women, they do not want him to be free. So I think somewhere, we spend too much time with each other, and the women think they earn the men, and the men think also that is true. So I think, if the women have the things to do with the other sisters, then we have a gap, to know that, this is a test that they can pass. If it happens that the husband will take another wife.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, I would love to comment to the imam with that. I don't, a husband and a wife should be best friends. Y'all should be so good of friends. And if your co-wife, if y'all have the situation, a marriage where y'all units, y'all are one big unit, then everybody should be best friends. When I married my husband, he told me that my co-wife was my 911. She was supposed to be my best friend. He was supposed to be my best friend, and we supposed to all be like that. So I think that it's not an issue with being friends with your husband and spending so much time with him. The main problem is the husband's, period. Because if the head is not working, if the head is messed up, the rest of the body ain't going to work right. So if your wives is not acting right, it must be something wrong with you. Maybe the husband is pillow talking. Maybe the husband don't know how to separate the homes and be just. Maybe you spending too much time over there and not enough time over there. Maybe it's something wrong with him.
Yeah, that's true too. That's alhamdulillah. That's true. That's why
it seems like in America, no matter what the man is, what race he is, what nationality he is, where he comes from, it seems like the go-to thing is to blame the woman. How can you blame the woman when you're supposed to be the leader of hers?
Yes,
so if she's messing up, it's your fault, because when the husband and the wife, when we stand in front of Allah, Allah gonna ask you about me. I'm your flock. So if I'm messed up, that's your fault.
That's true. That's why men got to stand up as a man, because women, they put themselves too much in men's business, and they believe that's their right. So it's not everything was meant to.
And that's probably because the man is making her be a man, and let her be a woman and sit down and be a wife. She won't have no reason to be inside of a man's business unless he's putting her in a position that she has to play the man role.
That is so true, but that's not the case though. The women, they don't want that. But what you just saying is true. If you're trying to do that, it become fight, and if it's fight, men are gonna lose. So what you're saying, if that's the way women will see and accept it, it will be beautiful marriage, because that's the truth from the Quran and Sunnah you just spoke. But
if you marry a woman, and when you marry her, she had her deen together. She was a beautiful woman. You seen all these beautiful qualities in her that everybody could see in her. And then you get her, and then now she's broken up and beaten up. That's your fault. You did that to her. Allah gave you a gift, and you tarnished it.
Yeah. Then that's if that's the case, if that's true, the men gonna deal with Allah. But the point is, if one of them, man or wife, if they give themselves to Allah, Allah is going to back them up. But if they're taking their own things in their own hand, they're going to suffer. So it's a matter of trust of your religion. You know, Islam is to be trust Allah. So if you do that, Allah going to back you up.
Alhamdulillah, inshallah. I would love to comment to the question as well, alhamdulillah. I think that everybody should try to prepare themselves for marriage. Just like you prepare yourself for the grave, you have to take time to prepare yourself for a marriage. Don't get into a marriage and think, oh, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to figure it out. No, you need to be reading books. You need to be sitting with people that's been married, sisters that's been married, that you can pick up the jewels that they're dropping off in their marriage. You have to learn about this before you jump in. And inshallah, you have a mother that teaches you these things before you even get into the marriage. But someone like me who was a revert, I didn't have that opportunity to have a mother to teach me how to deal with polygyny. But you have to deal with it by reading about the Prophet ﷺ, read about the Sahabas, read about the people that experienced it and went through it. You know it's gonna be good times and bad times, but you fear Allah when you go into that polygamous marriage. You fear your Lord when you're dealing with your co-wife, when you're dealing with your husband. You're trying to fear your Lord in all those situations. So the best advice I could give to a person that's new to polygyny, a woman accepting being a co-wife, a man that's going into it, is to fear your Lord. And always in all things, fear your Lord. How you deal with each other inside of that marriage, fear your Lord.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, that's true. That's what I say.
That's beautiful, sis.
Ask a question before you answer that question, Imam.
Oh, yes, you can ask the question.
I just wanted to ask a question because I have to get back to this. But it's just interesting to me that you equate polygamy to a test, because Allah tells us the things that He will test us with. We are tested with our family, we are tested with our wealth, and we are tested with our health. Anything that is decreed specifically by Allah is not a test. So, for example, the fact that I know that there's a possibility that my husband can get another wife, that is not a test. That's something I already know. The test it's a test because we are naturally humans, and so we automatically lack a deficiency in that. And because I'm a woman, I'm jealous. Because my husband wants to have 2 or 3 wives, he's unable to do that because he's not prepared. So I think it's a little bit lowering to say that the only preparation that you need is to be Muslim. That's not fair. For example, like the sister said, if you're a revert, being Muslim is not enough as a preparation. I think that as we teach the youth is to understand that the preparation that we need is knowledge. You need to educate yourself. What is your role as a woman? What is your role as a sisterhood? What is your role as a wife? What is your role as a husband? And what happens when this situation arises? Not just being a Muslim, because if being a Muslim is just sufficient, we wouldn't be in the problems that we're in. We're in the problems that we're in because we don't have the knowledge to be able to take ourselves out of the problem. So it's just not enough. For example, if a person doesn't know how to read, if a person doesn't know how to write, if a person doesn't know how to know a lot of these things, being Muslim is not enough. So what the sister said, having someone to educate you is so important. So I just want to know why you chose to say that it's a test. I don't think it's a test. Also, I
want to respond to the test part.
Hold on.
Also, inshallah. Sister, we're going to let her go because she's at work.
I just want to have one thing to you. You made a comment about the fact that it's because women don't have anything to do. It's because we're in the Western world. If there's other countries, that's not fair. I grew up in polygamy. The struggle that my mother experienced in polygamy is the same struggle that people in America experience in polygamy. There's no difference between being in America and being in an African country or whatever the case is. The problem is not the woman. It's the men's inability to put a structure in the family. There's no structure in the men. So the women have, yes, of course, we come with our deficiency, but if a man, I grew up in a polygamy household, and I didn't know my mother was in my mother until I grew up. Everyone, I had a healthy polygamy experience versus everyone that I know that doesn't, because my father had that structure in the house that there wasn't that. I'm not saying they didn't have the problems, but we never heard it and we never seen it because there was structure, there was education, and there was knowledge. I have to go to work, so I can't come back, but thank you so much.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Yeah, that's beautiful saying. Yes. Yeah, that's beautiful saying. Alhamdulillah. The sister, the reason I say Islam, everything you just said is part of Islam. That's why I say be Muslim. Mm-hmm. Prophet ﷺ said, knowledge is property of a believer. So all the wife is, being Muslim is you're gonna benefit you, but you gotta be Muslim no matter what. So other than that, if you're not a Muslim, you got the Mormons. They're not Muslim, but they got 2 or 4 or 5. They're successful. Do they gonna benefit hereafter? No. So that's why I say be a Muslim. In Islam, every knowledge you're going to acquire is part of the lost property of Muslim, so a believer. So Prophet ﷺ said that. That's why I say be a Muslim. Once you're Muslim, the polygamy you just experienced, the person that was, which is your father, that means he was studying Islam. Everything he was doing, it was benefiting here and hereafter because he's a Muslim. That's why I say be a Muslim. Be a Muslim is a package. So that package is broken down for everybody to follow what they need in it. So that was the reason I say that. Alhamdulillah.
I want to respond to you as saying that the test part. The Prophet says that a woman is rewarded with the same reward a man has when he is tested with jihad, when she is tested with polygyny, her husband getting another wife. So it's definitely a test, because when a man takes on another wife, that wife should become a part of your family. Like, you grew up in a polygamist household, and my husband also grew up like that as well. And he told me all of his daddy's wives was all his mothers, so they was all a family. So when your husband take on another wife, that is your family. That is a test. That is a test from your family.
Okay,
no, she's not online.
Oh, okay. That was Aisha. Okay, alhamdulillah. Like we said, everything depends on the person, individual himself. Because before you become Muslim, you got to prepare yourself to accept everything that comes in Islam. If you don't have that in you, you're going to be, argumentative in Islam. You're going to try to prove your point of philosophy, and which is going against Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sunnah. So all this, you got to be prepared within yourself to accept first. Then Allah make it easy for you whenever, a test comes.
Alhamdulillah. I also agree with you with just being Muslim. But see, for some people that maybe a new shahada, or somebody that might be listening that don't even know what it really takes to be a Muslim, they took their shahada, but they still in the process of learning. You just want to add on a little sauce to that so they can understand exactly what you mean by being Muslim. It's all kind of different Muslims. It's good Muslims and bad Muslims. So you want to explain what kind of Muslim they should be. Inshallah.
Yeah, that's true. But that's up to the person when he become Muslim to increase in it. Remember in the Quran, in the Surah 3, verse 1 or 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "O you who believe, fear Allah as it shall be feared." And he tell the believer that not except in the state of Islam. You see that? So Islam is a school system. When you're in the school, you upgrade yourself, first grade, second grade, third grade. So that's Islam. It's a school system set by Allah. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the only teacher that already, taught everything to put over there. Any other learned people, they come to upgrade. You got kindergarten, you got up, but it's up to the person if you want to keep going in the school. If you drop off, then you won't get, the benefit of, the higher grade. Yes.
Yeah, we hear you.
So that's why, it's always good, to become in the believer. Allah said that make sure you don't die except being a Muslim. That's why I say Islam is the key. Once you become Muslim, this is open for you to upgrade yourself. So you can learn about, whenever jihad comes, how Prophet Muhammad said, whenever polygamy comes, how Prophet Muhammad said, how to spend money, how Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how to deal with your wife, how Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, how to deal with your husband. All this is a package of a school system, which is Islam,
Right.
Yeah.
So from what we have gathered today, the number one thing is to be among the truthful ones. Because once you're among them, they will give you assistance in whatever areas that you may need help. If you need help with your situation in polygamy, if you need help with your situation in your family, if your husband doesn't have that information, then you can go to, someone that is in your community who is among the truthful people, and they should be able to give you the assistance that you need, or the imam in that community. So I mean, Islam is something that you have to search for the information and the knowledge that you need. So that's the reason why we're doing the radio station, because we need to know that, you know, we need to search for whatever knowledge it is that we're lacking in order to pass whatever situation that we're trying to pass or get through.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Yeah, I think, you know, that's alhamdulillah.
So are there any sisters that are on the air that didn't ask any questions or would like to give their response also? If so, you just hit *61 and then you can get into the queue to ask your questions. Sister Anissa, Sister Nasiha, Sister Taliba.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
You call me?
Hey.
Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Not right now. I'm still listening.
Okay. Sister Taliba, would you like to give a response? Okay, I think that's it. Jabi, was there any questions from your side? Sister Taliba, I think you have a question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, Sister Taliba. Wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah, Sister Taliba has a question.
Okay.
Yes. I really don't have much to say, but I guess I'm going to just express, if I were to be in that type of marriage, my only fear is, well, actually I have two. My first fear would be to experience jealousy in that type of marriage. How do you prepare for that? Because I would not want to be jealous of my co-wife, and I would not want her to be jealous of me. Jealousy brings forth a lot of evil actions, words, so I would not, want to experience that. And then secondly, my other fear would be for the co-wife to turn out to be a nightmare, to have like a un-Islamic character. And then how could the family prosper from that? How did you prosper from a woman that is bringing fitna into the family, that is bringing evil into the family, that is bringing confusion into the family? So, I mean, I don't know. How would you prepare for that?
Okay. Alhamdulillah, that's a beautiful question. And it's very, very simple. You know, everything that you just mentioned is a part of human life, but you shouldn't look up to that. What you got to look up to is what Prophet ﷺ said. Your Jannah is under the feet of the husband. You try to study your husband, what can please your husband, and disregard the other women. And what can please your husband, and how you're going to get nearest of your husband. You know, the most beautiful woman is the one that submit to the husband. Believe me. So now, if you study that part and you see it for yourself, it's not going to even last, for months for you to see the result. When you accept your husband, or because you've been with your husband, you've seen, you know what it's like, you know what it's don't like. You have a more privilege than the one that come in. So therefore, it's a competition to go to Jannah. Allah said in the Quran, let the people race to go to Jannah, those who want to race. So women, Jannah is under the feet of the husband. All you have to do, please your husband and be submissive, more patient than the other one. And you're going to see yourself being appreciated by your husband and loved by your husband if you remove all your personal, pleasure away. Like Allah said in the Quran, those who want to be in Jannah, they need to remove in Surah 79, verse 40. You say, وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى نَفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَىٰ. He says, whoever fears the judgment day before Allah and then remove his self-desire, and for the sake of fearing Allah, then day of judgment, Allah give that person Jannah. So everything you just said to yourself, that is a fear. That's what you fear. So remove that for the sake of Allah, and see where your Jannah is under the feet of your husband, and please your husband and see the result. Allah does not lie, and the Prophet does not lie either. So you're going to see that you're going to be more appreciated by your husband more than anybody. But when you're argumentative to your husband, when he say 1, you say 3, you say 4, you try to make your point, most of the time, it's going to be outside more than inside. But if you follow the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, your aim is to find the Jannah. You're going to see it. So alhamdulillah, just find the Jannah in your marriage. If it does a polygamy, that's to give you more chance to the one that is submissive to get Jannah easier. Because you're going to see from here in this dunya first before you even die. You're going to see your husband accepting you, getting closer to you more than any other women, that's around because your submission. And if you're not, Allah is not going to make him prosper because Allah is not going to say something and somebody's going to do the opposite and be successful. It's not going to happen. As long as we are Muslim. That only happened to the disbelievers, So alhamdulillah.
So ma'am, you're saying your first response or your first responses to your husband to make sure that you understand him and everything that you need in order to be a good wife to him first?
Yes, that's all you said for. Yeah, okay. By Allah, that's why women. If the Prophet had said sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the man's Jannah is on the feet of the husband, the wife, the same thing we go to the men too. But we don't pick and choose. We didn't make the law. We didn't create ourselves. So Allah, the one decided who's going to come in this earth as women or as a man, boy or girl. That's the Allah's department. We don't even have choice in that. But when you see yourself as a woman, follow the rules, and that will be beneficial for you. What Prophet say about it? Don't get angry at it. Like I said, Surah 4, verse 65. Allah said to Prophet Muhammad, he swear by the Lord of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that nobody is a believer until they accept the judgment of Prophet Muhammad. And Prophet Muhammad said he already decided that the woman's Jannah is under the feet of the husband. So all you have to do is submit to your husband to get your Jannah. But if you want to find something other than that, you're not going to be successful. And we're going to be argumentative in the Islam religion up to the time we die. We're not going to find a solution. And the solution is already laid down. All we have to do work on the solution to be, capable to do it and help and seek for help. Like you said earlier, be among those who are righteous, people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that to us. Like in Surah 9, verse 119, He said, "Oh, you believe, fear Allah, and be among those who are righteous." That would make it easy for you, to pass your time in this dunya.
So, alhamdulillah. So, basically, you follow the rules of your husband, and then, you still follow the family to make sure that everything is successful in the family.
Yes, and the husband, that's why marriage is very dedicated. The life of woman is very serious. The husband got to be, fear of Allah. He's got to be a Muslim. He's got to be, practicing, the Islam. Then he knew that if he abuses his wife, their judgment is not going to pass. So before you marry to anybody, make sure the person fears Allah. And you can tell that, and alhamdulillah.
So the whole unit, has to be based on the foundation of Islam, and we follow the rules of Quran and Sunnah, and we obey our husbands first, and then after that we branch out and we support everything that's in the core of the family.
Yep, that's it.
So the husband is like the center of the family, the core, and then we all radiate from that core, as family, as children, as husbands, as the wives of the family. Exactly.
The husband is the center, of course. So it's that's the way Allah said. I can't even say nothing. That's the way Allah said. And if here they build you up to go against what Allah said and bring your philosophy and your rules. So that's not the case in Islam. When you say you accept to be Muslim, that means you accept to submit anything we see, when Allah subhanahu and His Messenger laid down. That's all it means, Muslim. So, alhamdulillah. And you can, if you don't understand, walk your way toward understanding. Allah is going to make you.
So like the sister said in the beginning, once you know your role as a wife, your role as a husband, your role as a co-wife, once you know your role, as a child, we all have our roles that we have to, we have to be successful in Islam. Once we're successful in our own role, it won't be hard to, branch out into knowing what you do with your husband, knowing what you do with your children. You know what I'm saying? So once you know your proper role and you don't step outside of that role, then everything should be successful.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
So based on the understanding that we received today, I would still like to know if there's anyone that has anything else that they would like to add. Sister Anissa, do you have anything you would like to add? Sister Anissa, I got a text from you. Did you have another question? You have to text me and let me know if you have a question. Okay. Also, Sister Taliba, do you have another question?
You trying to get in there?
Yes, I have one more question.
Okay. Sister
So does
Taliba.
that mean if I was to focus only on my husband, so that means that I could take my time building a relationship with the co-wife? If I just focus on my husband, the co-wives do not necessarily have to immediately form a relationship. You know, of course, be cordial to each other, give the salam to each other, but I feel like some co-wives believe like you have to be best friends with the co-wife. And sometimes, you know, personalities do not come together like that, if that makes any sense.
Yes, that makes any sense. You know, to build a relationship with co-wife, look at your husband. What pleases your husband? Look at your husband. If your husband loves for you to build a relationship with co-wife, if he doesn't want, don't do it. That's where your Jannah is, you know. So you can also give your husband, you know, advice. You see? And then, you know, sweetheart, if we do this, that's how we're going to get, that's what we're going to get. You can, you know, that's why they say after every great man, there's a great woman. A great woman is the one that's really patient, you know, and advise the husband with a good nasiya. We've seen Prophet wife do that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you being friends, you know, very close to your, you know, co-wife, it pleases your husband, do that. Believe me, and Allah will make it smooth for you. Even she trying to resist earlier, to trying to show she's better than you, all that. Just disregard that. Do as, you know, you talk to your husband what you're doing sincerely. You're gonna see your husband gonna divorce him because you don't want no headache in the house, and he don't want no oppression either. And Allah said that to the men: if you cannot maintain justice, stay with the one. So who's better to break justice than the one that set the peace? And you're there to set the peace, and she over there to set the chaos. So your husband is going to have to decide, you know, and he knows what to decide. So, alhamdulillah.
So did that satisfy your question, sis?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any more questions out there? Any more questions or comments? I thought Anissa had a question, but I'm not really hearing her on the air right now.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay.
This is a question from one of our brothers here. Okay, but he wants me to give it in French, and then Imam can translate it and answer. Is that possible?
Yes, that's possible. Yeah, that's possible.
Ok. Imam,
Yes.
ce frère-là, le frère Koumé, il dit qu'il est dans une situation que vraiment il n'y a pas trop d'entente entre lui et sa femme. Bon, vraiment, il dit que selon les conseils maintenant des différents religieux, que vraiment c'est difficile, que vraiment qu'il faut éviter le divorce. Bon, alors que vraiment lui, à partir de ce qu'il a eu comme expérience avec la femme, que vraiment il a peur de prendre une deuxième femme. Et donc vraiment sa question est, faut-il vraiment divorcer celle-là et puis maintenant prendre une autre femme, parce que vraiment il n'est pas prêt à prendre deux femmes en même temps, quoi, parce que c'est que la première femme lui a montré que vraiment il a même peur même de se marier que de prendre une deuxième femme. Voilà, c'était sa question, ça.
Oh, okay, alhamdulillah. He said, conclusion, the brothers fear to even get to marry because what the first woman, you know, showed him, you know, that makes him fear to get married instead of two. So that's his question. So what is the solution of that? Alhamdulillah. Yeah, this is, you know, this is a very, very, you know, easy. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if the brother was doing whatever he was doing, Allah said to do, to be prepared to be married, like the five things that Allah said to do it, like, respect the both parents of the wife, feed the wife, and then give a shelter to the wife, and dress her, and when she's sick, be there around her. He wouldn't go through none of this. If he had to go through this, he wouldn't have a fear to marry another wife. Because that woman that giving him a hard time, she will run back to come to him, or either she will leave him alone and he will be free to marry another person. So these 5 conditions always there, for anybody who wants to be married in Islamically, So I think, the brother, needed to double check what was he doing. If he was doing all these things and then, that things happen, he needed to put his faith in Allah then. So Allah say in the Quran, in Surah 4 and verse 148 or 147, he said he's not doing anything to punish a believer. So what Allah will be doing by punishing a believer? So therefore, he doesn't, have to go through any punishment, to deserve, to be a believer. Allah is not going to do that. He's going to test you. That's all he's going to do. So alhamdulillah, the brother needed to check. If he was not doing the 5 things I did, he needed to do that before marrying a woman, and he won't have no problem.
Assalamu alaikum. Did that answer his question?
Okay. Brother, he's listening. So, okay. If there is another question there, you can take that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sister Anissa had another question. Did you still have your question, Sister Anissa? Okay. I think she must be off. Did anyone else have a question or a comment that they would like to add to the question for today? If not, Imam Noah Fofana, you can go ahead and give your last comments and then close out, and I'll close out the radio station.
Okay. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. I pray Allah for all the sisters, that are going through hardship, for Allah to make easy on them, for them to understand. Understanding make you, cause a problem. So knowledge is very important. It's the lost property of a believer. That's what Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said. So I make dua also, it's not easy. In this country, we just associate with our wife only and with our auntie, sister, uncle, brother. So that's very, very, very hard to break that tie later on to bring another person in. So we have to have a community. Yes.
Sister Anissa was saying she can't be unmuted, so she does have another question.
Oh, okay.
Jebby, Sister Anissa says she has one more question and she can't get unmuted.
Oh, can you dial *61? I will see it because there is a bunch of people here. It's hard to find. Okay, I don't know her number.
Okay, I think she's saying that's okay.
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 No, okay. Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Imam.
All right. So I pray Allah for everybody to understand and to make easy on us for the sake of Allah. And this situation, this country is not easy to do Islam without community. So I pray Allah for people to accept, to be part of the community, accept to be Muslim, and to, practice Islam. So I call قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. الصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين محمد بن عبد الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Ameen.
السلام عليكم.
Wa alaikum assalam. We would like to thank Imam Noah Fofana for answering our questions today. We thank you for helping us to understand, the situations that we're in. May Allah reward you. Ameen.
Ameen.
Jazak Allahu khairan.
Yeah.
We would also like to thank our audience for listening today. And please join us again next week, same time, Monday, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Also, we're on Facebook, UWOMBS Radio. If you want to listen to the recordings and add any questions or comments that you may have. Again, thank you for listening. Jazak Allahu khairan. We pray that you all have a blessed day. Ameen.